With the stroke of a pen, Joe Biden has already begun dismantling the work of Donald Trump, overturning decisions on climate, Muslim arrivals and the pandemic. As for the former president, he might be out of office, but he's not out of trouble. His impeachment trial is set to begin within days. From Washington, Matthew Doran reports.
One last shot from the outgoing president. The Trump snub of the Biden inauguration wasn't entirely surprising, given the former president still hasn't conceded defeat.
I can tell you that from the bottom of my heart, this has been an incredible 4 years.
But the fact he organised a farewell parade was viewed by many as one last attack on the decency expected from the occupants of the Oval Office and their entourage.
We have worked hard. We've left it all, as the athletes would say, we've left it all in the field.
That might be the 45th president's view, but his successor believes the Trump legacy is severely deficient.
And I thought with the state of the nation today, is no time to waste.
Joe Biden signing 17 executive orders hours after moving into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Among them, rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, mandating mask wearing to combat the COVID-19 crisis, and halting further construction of Donald Trump's centrepiece policy, the border wall with Mexico. The new president also drawing a line in the sand on staff behaviour, which he argued had suffered under the previous administration.
If you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot.
Some of the US's allies are looking forward to a partnership on a more even keel.
The relationship is very strong, and as always with this relationship, its best days are still ahead of us.
While there's work to do with those countries with more tricky ties, China wasted no time imposing sanctions against top officials in the Trump administration, including former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, for calling out human rights abuses.
I
think the new administration should serve the wishes of the people, view China in a rational and objective light.
Even though Joe Biden wants to crack on with his own agenda, the shadow of Donald Trump will loom large over the new White House for a long time to come. The most pressing issue is the Senate impeachment trial over allegations he incited the deadly US Capitol riots earlier this month. That could start by the end of the week.
We will be back in some form, so have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Watch this space. Matthew Doran, ABC News, Washington.
So what impact will a Biden administration have on Australia? Political reporter Jane Norman joins us now from Parliament House. Jane, as we just heard, Joe Biden has moved quickly to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. Will that influence Australia's policies?
Well, Juanita, President Biden has made it very clear that he is serious about tackling climate change, and he believes other world leaders should do the same. So this is certainly an issue that Scott Morrison won't be able to avoid. Now, the next round of global climate talks are taking place later this year, and that is when Australia will need to declare whether or not it's signing up to the target of net zero emissions by 2050. The PM has previously said it's achievable, but so far he has resisted the global momentum towards formally adopting that target. And that position, Juanita, will be much more difficult to maintain now that Joe Biden is in the White House.
So can we expect much change in America's relationship with us and the wider region?
Well, for all the chaos of the Trump years, the US-Australia alliance remains really strong. But Australia is certainly hoping that Biden will bring more predictability and really a return to regular diplomatic relations. When it comes to China, you can probably expect more continuity than change. Trump's approach of confronting Beijing was largely welcomed both in Washington and here in Australia. What wasn't welcomed was his America First approach and effective withdrawal economically from the Indo-Pacific region by tearing up trade deals, or trade agreements, I should say, by withdrawing from big global organisations. He created a vacuum that China effectively filled. So with Biden now in the White House, the expectation is that the US will rejoin some of those big global organisations and even try and find some areas of compromise with China. And Australia is expected to play a part there. America is sending sort of early signals that it wants to work much more cooperatively, much more closely with allies in the region when it comes to countering China's rise.
Jane Norman speaking to us there from Canberra.